Hello everyone. Today's topic is facial nerve. Facial nerve is seventh cranial nerve. It is mixed nerve. Mixed nerve containing both motor and sensory fibers, but basically it is motor. Mainly it contains motor fibers and sensory. Sensory root is also termed as nervus intermedius. Sensory root of seventh cranial nerve is also termed as nervus intermedius. Sensory root is a misnomer because it basically contains preganglionic secretomotor fibers. It contains preganglionic secretomotor fibers. Now, location on the brainstem. It arises from pontomedullary junction just above the olive. Seeing the diagram, this is pons and this is medulla, and at junction of both of them, that is the pontomedullary junction at level of olive. This is olive. At level of olive on pontomedullary junction, nerve is seventh cranial nerve. Both root are seen, motor and sensory root. Motor root is thick and it is medial to sensory root. This is sensory root. Lateral to it, there is eighth nerve, and medial to it sixth nerve, and on pons we see at the level of middle cerebellar peduncle we have fifth cranial nerve. All this is seen on the ventral surface of brainstem, ventral view of brainstem. Now, functional components. When we study nerve, then type of nerve containing fibers, then functional components of nerve. Now, functional component of nerve, it contains mainly four types of fibers. That is, first is branchiomotor fiber, second preganglionic fibers, then taste fibers and cutaneous sensations. First of all, branchiomotor fibers. Branchiomotor fibers, these are motor fibers, as name suggests, branchio related to branchial arches. Facial nerve is nerve of second branchial arch. All the muscles derived from the second branchial arch are supplied by facial nerve via branchiomotor fibers. Now, where is branchiomotor nucleus or the motor nucleus of facial nerve is located? If we see on dorsal surface of brainstem, on the dorsal view at the floor of the fourth ventricle, this is floor of the fourth ventricle, and in towards the middle we see two elevation. That elevations are termed as facial colliculus. Facial colliculus is an elevation which occur due to internal genu formed by the facial nerve, basically motor fibers of facial nerve arises, and then they form an genu. Genu means a curved around sixth cranial nerve, abducens nerve, and this elevation is seen on the dorsal surface or on the floor of the fourth ventricle as facial colliculus. If we see cross section at the level of the facial colliculus, then this is pons and this is cranial nerve 6 nucleus. This is motor nucleus of facial nerve, and fibers arises from the motor nucleus and they form a arch around the cranial nerve 6 nucleus and they emerge out at pontomedullary junction on ventral surface. So this is termed as internal genu of facial nerve. This is asked in question. Genu is formed. How many genu or arches formed during the course of the facial nerve? Two genu, internal and external. This is the internal genu, basically formed by the branchiomotor fibers which arise from the motor nucleus of the facial nerve. Now, these motor fibers supply all the muscles which are derived from the second branchial arch, basically stapedius, stylohyoid, posterior belly of digastric, frontal and occipital belly of epicranius, and muscles of facial expression. Now, one question arises: which muscle is supplied before emerging through the stylomastoid foramina? All other muscles except stapedius are supplied after emerging of the facial nerve through the stylomastoid foramina. And stapedius is muscle of ear, and during its course through the ear, when facial nerve comes through the ear, here it gives a branch nerve to stapedius to supply the stapedius muscle, and the rest of the branches are given when it emerges out through the cranial cavity via stylomastoid foramina. Now, preganglionic, second type of fibers facial nerve have. These are the preganglionic secretomotor fibers carried by sensory root, and these preganglionic secretomotor fibers supplies submandibular gland, sublingual gland, lacrimal gland, gland of soft palate, and gland of nasal cavity. Now, two routes are taken by preganglionic fibers, two separate routes for submandibular and sublingual, and one route for lacrimal, soft palate and nasal cavity. First of all, for lacrimal, nasal and palatal glands, these preganglionic fibers are derived from superior salivatory nucleus, which is located in the pons near the motor nucleus of the facial nerve. Then these superior fibers from the superior salivatory nucleus, these are the preganglionic fibers carried by the sensory root of the facial nerve. And for lacrimal, nasal and palatal gland, fibers pass via greater petrosal nerve, then to the nerve of the pterygoid canal, and these fibers relay in the pterygopalatine ganglion. Then postganglionic fibers for lacrimal gland is carried by zygomatic and lacrimal nerve, and for the soft palate and the nasal mucosa, the postganglionic fibers are carried by greater and lesser palatine nerves. This is the course for supply to the lacrimal and soft palate and nasal mucous glands. Now, for submandibular and sublingual glands, fibers take another path. Fibers arise from same superior salivatory nucleus in the pons, carried by same sensory root. Then these fibers are carried by cauda tympani nerve. What is termed as cauda tympani? Because when it passes through the ear, through the middle ear, when we see from outside, cauda tympani means tympani resembles the tympanic membrane. Cauda means cord-like. When we see from outside the tympanic membrane to the tympanic membrane, then we see a black cord-like line. This is cauda tympani nerve. On this basis, it is termed as cauda tympani nerve. Then the fibers from the cauda tympani are passed to the lingual nerve. Then these relay into the submandibular ganglion. So preganglionic fibers of the facial nerve are related to are relayed in two ganglions, that is pterygopalatine ganglion and submandibular ganglion. From submandibular ganglion, the postganglionic fibers reaches submandibular gland directly. This is also important. Postganglionic fibers to the submandibular gland is directly passed through the ganglion. No intermediate nerve is there. And in sublingual gland, the fibers are again taken by same nerve fibers for the sublingual gland came through the lingual nerve, relay in the submandibular ganglion, and then postganglionic fibers are also taken into the sublingual nerve, and these are supplied to sublingual salivary gland. So two type of fibers we seen: bronchiomotor fibers, these are the motor fibers for the second branchial arch, muscles derived from the second branchial arch, and secondly the preganglionic secretomotor fibers carried by the facial nerve. These are carried by the sensory branch. Third important fibers that are seen in the that are carried by the facial nerve, these are the taste fibers. These taste fibers, facial nerve supply anterior 2/3 of the tongue and soft palate. Chorda tympani take taste sensation from the anterior 2/3 of the tongue, and from soft palate greater petrosal nerve take the taste sensation, and taste sensation from both chorda tympani and greater petrosal nerve finally reach to genicular ganglion. These chorda tympani and greater petrosal nerve contain the peripheral fibers, and these reach to the genicular ganglion. Genicular ganglion act as first order sensory neuron for the taste, and genicular ganglion is present located in epitympanic part of the tympanic cavity, and here fibers form external genu. So two genu are seen in the course of the facial nerve: internal genu at the level of the facial colliculus in the pons, and second in epitympanic part of the tympanic cavity at genicular ganglion. Now central fibers from the genicular ganglion passes taste sensation to the upper part of the nucleus of the tractus solitarius, that is located in pontomedullary junction, and nucleus of tractus solitarius act as a second order neuron for the taste pathway. Taste pathway we will study in detail in another lecture. Now fourth type of fibers present in facial nerve, these are the cutaneous sensations. Facial nerve carry these sensations from the concha of the auricle, from the ear concha. Facial nerve carry this cutaneous sensation not directly, it carries the cutaneous sensation from the concha of the auricle via auricular branch of the vagus nerve, and then same these peripheral fibers reach the genicular ganglion, that is the first order neuron. Then central fibers reaches the spinal nucleus of trigeminal nerve. All sensations from the head and neck, sensory sensations, are finally reach to spinal nucleus of trigeminal nerve. It acts as a second order neuron. These are the functional components of facial nerve. Now facial nerve leaves the cranial cavity through stylomastoid foramina. After emerging through the stylomastoid foramina, it gives branches to posterior belly of digastric, stylohyoid muscle, and then it gives 5 terminal branches to supply the facial muscle. Facial nerve appears on the face, radiating through the anterior border of the parotid gland. After emerging through the stylomastoid foramina, facial nerve enters the parotid gland and emerges through the parotid gland in 5 radiating branches. First is temporal branch, second is zygomatic branch, third one is buccal branch. Buccal branch is further divided into upper buccal and lower buccal. Fourth is marginal mandibular branch, and fifth one is cervical branch. The temporal branch supply zygomatic arch. It supplies the auricularis anterior and superior muscles and upper part of orbicularis oculi and frontalis and corrugator superciliae, all the muscles. Zygomatic branch runs along the zygomatic arch and supplies the part of orbicularis oculi. Now buccal branch, upper buccal passes above the parotid gland and lower buccal passes below the parotid duct. Upper buccal passes above the parotid duct and lower buccal passes below the parotid duct. And upper buccal supplies zygomaticus major, minor, levator anguli, oris, levator labii superioris, levator labii superioris, alicae nasi, and muscles of the nose. These all are muscles of facial expression. And lower buccal supply the buccinator and orbicularis oris. A marginal mandibular branch appears first in the neck and then curves upward and forward across the lower border of the mandible. That's why it's termed as marginal mandibular branch, and it supplies risorius, depressor anguli, oris, depressor labii, inferioris, and mentalis. And cervical branch appears in the anterior triangle of the neck through the apex of the parotid gland, and it supplies the platysma. Thank you everyone. Clinical anatomy related to facial nerve we will study in next lecture.